What is going on, y'all? I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, even in the wake of the Reptilian Renegade whole debacle. Wanted to talk a little bit about how mints are still bullish, why I'm still looking to get in on them, all the mints that I'm looking at, as well as how to get these whitelists, because holy shit, it is like winning the damn lottery. So you need to make sure you're doing all the right steps, some creative ways rather than just retweeting and liking something that's getting 100,000 retweets. Seriously, Trippin' Ape Tribe got 100,000 retweets on 3 whitelist spots. You have better chances of getting hit by lightning. So we're going to talk a little bit about upping your chances to get whitelist spots for some of these. So let's get into the video. All right, so even though we just got done with this whole Reptilian Renegade debacle, and like I said, not financial advice, doing your own research on all of this in this video, but this is why I'm bullish on mints though, is because if you minted Reptilian Renegade, even with all its nasty issues, if you got in at what, 1 SOL, 1.5 SOL, your risk is nothing. Even at its lowest, I think it hit about 5 SOL yesterday when everybody's sentiment was at its very lowest. That's still a 3x. So if you get in on some of these mints, especially when they have good hype around them and good marketing and the artwork looks good. I mean, Reptilian Renegades looks clean. I like some of the artwork. I love the meadow skin. It's just like OK Bears, right? I love the coral skin, love the blueprint, some of the traits on there. Just clean artwork, and they make really good profile pictures. The community was on fire and still is. So it's finding those projects, and I have a list of them right here that I think will do really well. Now, if you haven't already seen my video, I'll go ahead and put it up in the eye in the sky, but I talk a little bit about some of these mints coming up, which are Trippy World, Shin Sengoku, and Jakan Studios. So go ahead and check out that. I do talk a little bit about all of those, but we're just going to go down the line because they're all pretty much following the same blueprint. They have a lot of Twitter followers. They have a Discord that is absolutely popping. Their marketing is fantastic. They do the whitelist meta where they're collaborating with the other projects in order to get followers and build up hype. I think this is going to be, unfortunately, the way forward until we figure out something else besides the whitelist meta. But with botting an issue, I still think that this is going to be the meta for a little bit is whitelist. So the list of stuff that I'm bullish on that kind of matches this criteria is Trippin' Ape Tribe, Bubble Goose Ballers, Oak Paradise, Vandal City, Shrouded Playground, Wobblebug, Art of Mob, Great Goats, and Suteki. So these are all the ones that I'll go ahead and link their Twitters below. You can go ahead and check them out, but you'll find out that getting a whitelist spot via Twitter, which is usually the like, follow, retweet sort of meta that's going on right now, just to build up hype around these projects, it's almost impossible to get. One of the things I'm worried about too is that there may not be enough liquidity in our NFT market to make all of these projects go berserk, and I think a lot of people's standards are obfuscated right now because of OK Bears and how Reptilian Renegade ran up to 45. I mean, running up to 45 SOL as quick as it did was also unheard of before OK Bears, and I think that kind of set a standard for a lot of these that I'm worried they're coming out too close to each other, that if they don't put enough days between them, then we're talking about liquidity wars between the two projects. But moving on to the real alpha here, how do we get fucking whitelist spots for these, right? It's almost impossible these days because if you try to do the retweet, if you try to do all the games and stuff on the Discord, you're going up against so many people if you don't get in early. There's a few ways. So one, if you haven't got in early, if you don't know about the project early, go into some of the raffle spots. So Dust, the Dusty's store by D-Gods is a great raffle store. I actually just won another Bubble Goose spot from the Dusty store, but they've also had Trippy World. They've also had Trippin' Ape Tribe. They've had a ton of whitelist spots open for these, and these are actually pretty good returns. Now, Dust has gone up quite a bit, but you can also still look at some other stores. The Mercury Protocol by Blocksmith Labs, they use Forge over there for some of their raffles in a similar style. The Foxy Market, Foxy Raffles, you can do some of those, as well as Tayo Robotics has a scrap raffle market. All of these usually have really good whitelist spots and a decent amount of them too. We're talking anywhere from 25 to 40 for some of these premium projects. So definitely make sure you are checking those out on a daily basis, even if you're not involved with the project. And if you need to go grab some of the tokens, you can always check out Radium or DexSwap or DexWatcher and check out how you can possibly purchase some of these tokens in order to get in on these raffles. Now, they use their native tokens, so Dust Protocol, Forge, Foxy, and Scrap are the 4 that were mentioned and kind of adhere to those markets. Now, the other way and the big alpha is finding a project or a DAO that has low supply and is very well connected. For instance, one that is so undervalued, a project that is incredibly undervalued to me, I've been shilling it for a while, is Akari. I think this is as cheap as it gets. One, the artwork's good, right? I mean, I love the artwork. Putting that aside, the real meta is the fact that they are, one, connected to Hydra Launchpad, so I have been able to get Gcon Studios, Shrouded Playground. Both of these came from Akari. I got in on their raffles, and they actually have a pretty unique raffle system. One, it's a very low supply compared to most projects. It's only 2,222. Some of these DAOs that you can get in on also have an incredibly low supply and are very well connected, so your chances of getting a whitelist spot are high, but it's also a high cost to get in there. Soul Army is a very well connected DAO. Pretty sure a lot of major influencers, I'm thinking Pratty NFT, he has a DAO that I see them getting whitelist spots or into Discords very early on projects. These are the type of alpha that you're looking for. But going back to Akari, they have a raffle system where they usually have about 10 whitelist spots or so for just a 1 holder, but they also have whitelist spots for baby whales and whales, which is 5 and 10 holders respectively. So I have 2 chances, since I hold 5 Akari, on getting a whitelist spot for some of these. Now, I didn't get the Trip and Ape Tribe. I wish I did, but comparatively speaking, we're talking about a 5% chance to get in on Trip and Ape Tribe on just one of the raffles. And they have multiple because they're connected to the Hydra Launchpad, which has launched a ton of great projects lately. I think they'll take a little ding with this Reptilian Renegade debacle, but again, I think they'll recover. I think they'll show their strength. I think they are a very good launchpad in doing everything surrounding what a launchpad should do, be an advisor, show people how tokenomics work, help people market, all that good stuff, on top of the fact that they do have a really good launchpad for whitelists and actually minting the project. It's because this low count though that I have such good odds in order to get in on a project. So at 4 or 5 soul, whenever it is by the time I'm done recording this, you'll understand that that's a pretty good odds to go ahead, buy some nice artwork. It seriously is incredible art that I don't know why it isn't talked about more. Go into the community. They have really good alpha hunters there. Some of the calls I have followed and have actually been pretty good. So there is some of that as well, but always do your own research and NFA, as well as make sure you are checking out those whitelist spots or raffles daily. Some of the first come first serve are even good as well. There's many projects like this. Ask around in the community. I can help you find some as well. If you want to hit me up on Twitter at BisonTrades, and please make sure if you found this video useful, go ahead and subscribe down below. It does help me grow the channel tremendously. That about does it for me on this video. Thank you so much as always. I'll see you on the next one.